Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am going to talk about my top 10 books of 2024, the ones that just really stuck out to me, the ones I really enjoyed reading and had a lot of fun with. So let's hop right into the video. Now, I'm not gonna go in the order of like my favorite to least favorite or whatever, but I will talk about my top read when I get to that one, so stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna give you guys like the whole what everything's about, but I will try to kind of maybe give you a brief summary. So first up, I have The Inmate by Freida McFadden. This was the second Freida McFadden book that I read, and I absolutely loved this one. I think I gave it 5 stars, had a lot of fun with it. This is basically about a woman who, she takes this job in a prison as like a nurse, I think, and it's the same prison that her ex-boyfriend is serving his sentence, that she kind of testified against him and put him in there, and now she is working there again after 10 years of not seeing him. And it's super interesting because you get like the flashbacks of what happened to lead up to the events to put him in prison, and then what's really going on. And it's classic Freida. I mean, there's lots of twists and turns along the way. I really love this. I know a lot of people don't like Freida McFadden, but I love her writing style because it's just so simple and you just get right to the point, which I love. So I highly recommend this one. This is one of my favorite Freida books. It's not my favorite Freida book, but it is one of them. Such a good read. I enjoyed it so much. Yeah, loved it. Next up, we have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is another one that people really don't like, and I kind of understand, but I also kind of don't. I absolutely loved this book. I think because it reminded me so much of my relationship with James. If you didn't know, if you're new around here, James is my husband. It reminded me so much of our friendship and kind of like our history and whatever. So that's why I really loved it. So this is about 2 people who become friends in college, and they will take a yearly trip somewhere. They'll take a vacation somewhere together, and throughout the time they, you know, see other people and whatever, but they remain friends. Then there ends up being a miscommunication, which causes them to not talk for a couple of years, and something happens to where they're able to take kind of one final trip and lay it all out on the line, all their feelings and thoughts and whatever. I know a lot of people didn't like it because they felt like it just kind of was like a slow burn and kind of dragged on, but I actually loved this book, and I would say this is probably my favorite Emily Henry book. So I really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't like it. It's not for everybody, but I absolutely loved this book. Next up, we have A Funny Story by Emily Henry. This one, again, a lot of people didn't really like, but I liked this one. This is about Daphne and Miles, and their exes got together and broke up with them. So now Daphne moves in with Miles because she has nowhere to stay, but they don't really know each other that well. So then they kind of become friends, and then they start fake dating to make their exes jealous, and you know, kind of one thing leads to another. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was just such a like lighthearted, fun romance book, and I just loved it. You know, I know, again, it was one of those books that I feel like I see a lot of people hate on and say that it's not good, but the funny thing is the top Emily Henry books that they like, I'm like, those did not do it for me. So it's just funny how people have such different tastes in books, but I personally really loved this one and I gave it 5 stars. Next up, we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This book was so cute. I loved reading this. It was just a fun romance book. It's basically about, what was her name? Alexis and Daniel. And there's a 10-year age gap. Daniel is 10 years younger than her. They kind of meet up, like sparks fly, but she's not really wanting anything serious. She is a doctor living in a different town, and there's just a lot of like real life stuff that happens where, you know, she kind of deals with stuff in her personal life or whatever. I don't want to give too much away, but Daniel's kind of like the lighthearted, fun. He still has his own set of stuff, but he's very, I don't know, just fun and down to earth and like fun to be around, and kind of helps her work through a lot of her things that she's dealing with in life. I know it's probably not the best like explanation of this, but this is such a good book. I really enjoyed reading this. It was so cute. It was one of those books that I was like, I wish I could rewind or like erase my mind so I could read it again. I did really enjoy this one. I gave it 5 stars. The next book is the next one in that series, and it is Yours Truly. I don't know that I liked them both kind of equally, but what I will say about this book did such a great job at representing people who struggle with anxiety. Like, if you know somebody who struggles with anxiety, but you don't understand like what they're going through, I highly recommend reading this book, because this just gives such a good insight to what it is like to struggle with anxiety. And I loved that. I also loved that it was the male character who was struggling with that, because I feel like that's not something that's really represented, and guys struggle with anxiety just like girls do. So I really, really loved it. But it's basically about Brianna and Jacob, you know, kind of another like fake dating trope. Brianna really helps Jacob with his anxiety struggles, and it's just such a beautiful love story of like supporting somebody with their mental health stuff. And I love that. As somebody who really struggles with anxiety, this book just spoke to me, and I really just wanted to be like handing it to everybody who knows me, to be like, if you don't understand like what I'm going through, this kind of will help you understand. It's such a good book. If you have anxiety, or you know somebody who has anxiety, or you want to understand more about anxiety, this did it in such a beautiful way. So 5 stars. I loved this book. It was so good. Next up, we have The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden, another classic Freida one. This was her newest one to come out. It came out in October, and I read this whole thing in one day. I got it on Kindle Unlimited the day it came out, just sat there for hours and read it. So good, such good twists. I really enjoyed this one. I know a lot of people didn't. I personally really, really liked this book. I really love most Freida books. There's a couple that haven't been what I wanted them to be, but a lot of them are just so, so good. So I loved this one, but basically it's about Sydney. She's kind of doing the online dating thing. There is a serial killer on the loose in New York City, and she kind of ends up dating somebody that she thinks could be that person. Lots of twists and turns. Everything is not as it seems in this book, and I seriously thought I had this figured out. I really was like, I know what's happening. No, I did not have it figured out. Freida did it again. Anyway, but I really enjoyed this book. It was just fun thriller vibes. It was good. Next up, I have The Perfect Marriage by Jeneva Rose. This one I listened to on audio, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the twist at the end. I thought it had such a good twist. But basically, this man, his mistress ends up getting murdered, and his wife has to be his attorney, go to bat for him and help him through the court process and the battle and whatever, proving he's innocent and he didn't do it. And it's just interesting that it's like his mistress died, but his wife didn't know about this mistress, then has to be like, okay, I need to defend him because he's innocent, but she still struggles because her husband was cheating on her. It's very, very interesting. I thought the twist was really good. And this one has another book coming out, and I think it's like a sequel, but it's called The Perfect Divorce, and I think it comes out in April maybe, and I'm very excited for that. But this one was really good. I was not expecting to like this one that much because I had read another Jeneva Rose book and it wasn't that good, so I didn't have high hopes for this one, but this one was really good. I really enjoyed this one. All right, you guys, this is my top book of 2024. Top book of 2024. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This book got me, okay? This book got me. So basically this book is about Lenora Hope. So at age 17, Lenora Hope is accused of, unaliving her entire family. Nobody really knows what happened that night. She was never actually convicted, but that's the story that goes around town. Everybody's scared of her. They think that she did this, whatever. Then Kit, who is like a at-home caregiver, years and years and years later has to go be Lenora's caregiver. But Lenora can't talk and she can't really communicate anymore because of different health issues that she has going on. But Kit is determined to learn the truth of what happened that night, that everything went down for Lenora and her family. And that's probably not like even the best description I could give you, but this book, trust me when I say, so good. There was twist after twist after twist. I was completely shocked. I wish I could delete this from my mind and read it again because I was not prepared for the ending. So good. Like, my mind was blown. This was the best book. Nothing has topped it since I read this book. I'm like, but I still think about this book like every day. Just go read it. If you like thrillers, this one is so good. It takes a little bit of time to get into because Riley Sager is very good about, he just writes everything to where you feel like you're in the setting instead of just getting to the point of the story. So it takes a little bit more to get into, I feel like, than like a Freida book. But it's so good. Like this one, #1 read of 2024. I have 2 books left to share with you guys, but I don't have the physical copies because one of them my friend borrowed and the other one I listened to it on audio and I haven't purchased it. I will be purchasing it. So the one that my friend has borrowed is One by One by Freida McFadden. This has been my favorite Freida McFadden book so far. Again, it's one of those that people really don't like and they really hate. I personally loved it. I thought it brought the spooky vibes. The twist was really good. I just really enjoyed it. So, you know, I don't care that no one else did. Like to me, right now, that is the top Freida book in my opinion. But I know we all have our own opinions and that's totally fine. But One by One is basically about these 3 couples, so 6 people total. They go on this little friend vacation kind of thing. But along the way, they have car trouble and they have to walk to where their resort is. But they got to go through the woods and everything. And as they're trying to find their way to the resort, people keep disappearing one by one. So spooky vibes. The twist is so good. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. Freida did it again. That one is so good. I highly recommend it if you like Freida McFadden. I know a lot of people don't like that one and that's okay. And it's okay if you tell me in the comments you didn't like that one. Like totally fine. I really loved that one. All right, and then the last book that I have that I haven't purchased yet, but I will be purchasing is Fourth Wing. Now, originally when I listened to this book on audio, I gave it 3 stars. I want to go back and re-listen to it. I think I gave it 3 stars because the beginning was a little bit hard to get into because they're world building and setting everything up. But I have listened to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and I'm obsessed and I'm so excited that Onyx Storm comes out in just a couple weeks, or actually maybe by the time this video goes up. I don't know when this is going up because I'm pre-filming a lot of stuff. It may already be out, but I have it pre-ordered on Audible. I'm so excited. So I will say I need to go back and do a Fourth Wing reread because I think I would rate it higher. I rated it a little bit lower just because I felt like it was hard to get into at the beginning, but also listening to a book versus reading it is a very different experience. So I think next time around I'm gonna read it because I think it's on Kindle Unlimited, but I'm also going to purchase all 3 of the books. Like once the 3rd one comes out, I will be purchasing all of them because I need them for my bookshelf. But anyway, I loved Fourth Wing. I can't stop thinking about it and I am so excited for the 3rd book to come out. So that's why it had to be part of my top 10 out of 2024 because seriously, I can't stop thinking about it. So those are all of my top 10 from 2024. Books that I love, books that I still think about, books that I want to reread, but I have a lot of books to read for the first time, so I can't reread them right now. Yeah, those are my top 10 of 2024. I would love to hear your guys' top books for 2024. Let me know, are any of these on your list? Did you enjoy them? Did you hate them? Just leave in the comments your thoughts and which books you loved, or maybe there's a book I haven't read that you really love. Let me know because I'm always looking for new book recommendations. So drop them in the comments, but that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye guys.